Hello and welcome to the kitchen, my friends. It is so good to see you. Today we are going to whip up a most delicious, tasty treat. It's going to bring me back to my childhood. We're going to make some molasses cookies. If you're new here, my name is Angela. I am the inquisitive farm wife because you never know what curiosities I'm going to be getting into. And you better believe I'm bringing all of you along with me. Whether it turns out good or bad, we're going to be in it together. And those of you who've been sticking around, welcome back. Let's get to baking some cookies. And why are we baking cookies today, you might ask? Because it is the Cookies and Candy Collaboration. All week long, there's going to be awesome creators making delicious cookies and sharing the recipes with all of you. And it's also open to invite all of you to join it. So if you have a favorite cookie recipe, we want to see it. And all you have to do is tag me at the Inquisitive Farm Wife, and I'll get you added to the playlist so that everyone can get together and we can have a little bit of a cookie recipe exchange this week. And be prepared, because next week we're going to make candies. So be looking if you haven't already decided which candy you're going to bring to the table. Now don't forget, this video also counts as part of the giveaway that I'm doing, where I'm giving away a Bosch mixer and a Nutri-Grain grain mill, the Impact Mill, which we're going to use both of those products today because I want to show you how much I absolutely love them. So today's video, and hopefully I'll have another one for you Wednesday, will all be counting towards the giveaway. And all you have to do is be watching my videos from this month. If you haven't been already, go back. You can still catch up. Leave me a heartfelt comment and share me out to all your friends and family, because I want to share the excitement of this giveaway because I think it's pretty awesome. So I actually have a blog from, I believe, back in 2018. Before I was a YouTuber, for a short stint, I tried blogging, and I really did enjoy it. And I share with you my journey of my grandpa's Gingersnap molasses cookies. I will put a link to that blog so that you can have that recipe too. But today, since we're going to be using some fresh milled grains, I went ahead and I looked up a recipe online. I do not know where I got it from, so I'm sorry, I won't be able to add that. But I will let you know as we make it what we're going to do together. And of course, you know, I'm going to add my own little tips and tricks and things in between. So unsifted Gingersnap cookies is the name of the recipe today. First thing I want to do is I've got my grain mill set up, and I have some wheat berries. And I want you to take note. These are the soft wheat berries. There is a difference between the hard wheat berries and the soft wheat berries. Obviously, these are softer, so they're going to have higher moisture, and they're also going to have lower protein. You want higher protein when you want gluten development in things like breads and rolls and cinnamon rolls and delicious things like that. You want the softer, lower gluten development in things like cookies and muffins and pie crust. So I'm going to take, a third to a half of this, and I'm going to go ahead and mill it. You might hear my grandson in the background. Don't worry, his mommy's got him. He'll quiet down when they're finished changing pants. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and mill this on the finest setting. I decided to go ahead and sift it. It's not a lot, and I did save the bran, but I just decided I want a nice lofty, fluffy cookie, and I'm in a hurry enough as it is tonight, so I'm probably putting too much pressure on myself. And this is just a way, if you separate it as a beginner, this is going to help ensure you might have a better product. And I'm already nervous about it enough because working with fresh milled grains, there is a learning curve to it. So for example, if I were converting this recipe, I would want to use different measurements depending on what I am grinding. So white soft versus white hard wheat, there's about a half a cup's difference on what you would use. And so I just think it'd be best for us to try to go ahead and troubleshoot ahead of time. So I have my 3 cups. It's supposed to be unsifted, so I just kind of packed it down of flour ready to go. And the recipe I'm using is actually calling for fresh milled flour. So I'm not worrying about the water content today on converting anything. So I'm going to be able to just follow the recipe. So now that I have my flour ready, we can go ahead and start mixing the cookie. You don't want the plastic, you want the metal drive one for this attachment we're going to add on. So these are the cookie paddles with the curve. They're the newest version. And then you have to have the metal drive to go to use this particular add-on, which is really, really cool, especially if you're just making a smaller batch, like a single batch like we are today. This is the cookie scraper that I've talked about. And I'm going to put these in. There's two. They look a little bit different. And it just fits a certain way. So you can't do it wrong. Well, if anyone can, I can. And I'll put that on here. And what this does is, hopefully I don't put the microphone here, it scrapes the bowl for you. See here? And then again here. It scrapes all that for you. It's amazing. Maybe this angle will be better. I don't know. I don't know. After all these years, I'm still trying to figure it all out. So we'll plug in my mixer. And I always like to cream my sugars and my butter together first. So we have a stick and a half, which is 3/4 of a cup of butter. And it's just room temperature butter. We need a cup of sugar, and you can use whatever kind of sugar that you want. This particular recipe calls for organic cane sugar. And it does say you can sub out your typical sugar. That's what I'm using today. And then we need 1 large egg. Well, what do you think I'm going to use for a large egg? That's right, a duck egg. And I'm just going to start out by creaming these things together really quick. Won't take but a jiffy. And I'm just going to let this go until it kind of changes color and everything incorporates. 1, maybe max 2 minutes. Okay, I really honestly could have waited to add the egg at this point. I guess it's just habit with my sugar cookies. I do it that way. Let's see here. I can show you what this looks like. See, it's nice and blended really well. Now, I'm going to suggest that you get a mild molasses, but what I have here is a little bit on the stronger side, but I don't mind that molasses flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and use what the recipe calls for, which is 1/4 of a cup. So oops, I spilled it. In that goes. Okay, so I'll try to clean that up. Mess maker, mess maker. Okay. Have I told you already? The oven needs to be preheating at 350 degrees. So let's go ahead and blend this up. Okay. Show you here. You can see this is incorporated well. So now we can just add the remainder of the ingredients, which is our 3 cups of unsifted flour. So if you want to know measurements, you can actually use this as 355 grams. I did not weigh it today. I'm kind of being a rebel in that way, I guess. Okay, so we've got our flour. We need a tablespoon of ginger. I just love ginger, don't you? That was a rounded tablespoon. I want these to have lots of flavor. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. pink Himalayan, of course, here in my kitchen. So I was looking at the directions, and they actually add the flour last. I think it'll be fine. And that is it. It didn't take any time at all to get this dough to form and come together. Now, if I would have used a hard white wheat or like kamut or spelt or any kind of ancient grains that are a harder wheat, then I would have told you that I would suggest that you leave this in the refrigerator for a little bit, maybe 30 minutes. That way the liquids would get incorporated into the dough and it wouldn't be quite so sticky, because your harder wheat or your harder berries are going to soak up the moisture, but it does take some time. But remember, we talked a little bit about the soft white and how it already has the moisture in it. And so typically you can, bake right away. These are just for us. I'm just kind of excited to have a little treat today. My plan was to maybe freeze them for Thanksgiving. If they look nice enough, then I will. But I also need to go do chores this evening. And typically I would just let this set until I got done with chores and come back and bake them off. But honestly, I'm feeling a little lazy, and I'd really like to go ahead and, after I get done with chores, put on my pajamas, edit the video, and be done for the day. So we're going to try this. Plus, to me, the dough looks pretty normal. It doesn't look too super sticky. So I think I'm going to be fine. Now, I did not bring a small scoop with me downstairs, which I really need, probably, to get consistent cookies. So we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. And I'm going to use the end of this as a scoop. And that is how we're going to roll out our cookies. But first, let's move all of this out of the way. I'm going to gather my cookie sheets and a bowl of sugar, and I'll be back. Okay, I was generous, and I have, I don't know, over 1/3 of a cup, maybe close to 1/2 a cup. And you're going to want, 1 to 2 tablespoons. Just depends on how big you want your cookies to be. And that doesn't quite look big enough. I want it a little bit bigger. And you'll just roll them in a ball. This is where the cookie scooper thing works really well. Again, you can use cane sugar and it would make it a little bit bigger, but I'm just going to use the regular sugar. And these are going to be very, very uneven, very artistic. It's been a very long time since I've done this without my, I'm a gadget person. If you are one of my new viewers, you will find out that I'm very much a gadget gal, especially when it comes to the kitchen. I just love kitchen gadgets. It's a weakness of mine. So all we're going to do is I'm going to set, and all this dough, I'm going to roll it in balls, and I'm going to set it on the tray, and I'm going to leave a bit of a distance in between, about this much, so that if they do spread, they have room to do so. But again, a chilled dough might work a little bit better, but we don't have time for that today. I ended up with 34 cookies. So I'm going to guess this recipe makes about 3 dozen. I may have gotten heavy-handed, or maybe the exact opposite, and it's only supposed to get 2 dozen. So we're going to say 2 to 3 dozen cookies for this batch. And we want to bake them about 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer for 6 minutes, because in my oven, I find that my stuff comes out better if I try to take a minute and maybe 1/2 to 3/4 away through the cooking time, turn things around. And so that's what we'll do. I've got 6 minutes. That should give me plenty of time to clean up this mess I made with the sugar. Okay, so it's time now to flip the cookies. You might be able to see better on this side. Okay, let's see. Oh, they're looking lovely. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move the trays around and flip them. Just a bit. You can see they've kind of started to flatten out, which is good. And next, what we need to see is to have them crack. That is distinctively, we'll do 4 minutes now. That is distinctively what I remember about Grandpa's cookies was the crinkly crack. And then the sugar, you know, it separates and it looks so pretty and tasty. So it's looking a lot like Grandpa's recipe. Okay, our 10 minutes is up. Perfect! Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. We did it. We did it. Okay, clear that off. We won't need to bake anymore. We got to get them out right away, but I got to be careful. I don't want them to... Oh my goodness. Wow. So these in the middle didn't crack, but that's okay. Well, they're cracked, but they're not the same crack. Does that make sense? I don't know. Some of them are a little crackier than others. How's that? But they still look amazing. The hardest part now is to let them cool so that we can taste them. If you want more of a ginger snap, as in like a harder cookie, just bake it another 4 to 6 minutes. And then you have that tea kind of, you know, coffee tea dunking kind of crispy, crunchy type of ginger snap. But these, I'm hoping, will stay soft. But we need to let them set and cool for at least 5 minutes on the tray before I even think about taking them off. And that's why you want them to be soft, because they'll continue baking just a little bit on those hot trays. Okay, so while I worked on the dishes, these had a chance to cool just a little bit. And I'm going to move them over to a cooling rack. So here they are, all of our beautiful ginger snaps. And I will show you as they cooled, they did flatten down, but I think they would be great to use as a sandwich cookie, or if I left them out on the counter, they might crisp up and be those crunchy ones that we're used to. But while it's still a little bit warm, I have to give this a taste. First, let's break it open and see what it looks like inside. Isn't that lovely? Ooh. Oh, this is perfect. A little crunchy on the outside, chewy on the inside. Wonderful. If you want a little loftier of a cookie, like I said, put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes first, then have your cold dough, put it in the oven, and you'll have a taller cookie, like the ones I remember my grandpa making. But since we were on a time crunch and we made this happen today, I don't think anyone here is going to complain. Least of all me. And it reminds me of my childhood. Let me know in the comments below. What's your favorite holiday time cookie? What memories do you have that are associated with a special cookie in your life? Tell me. I want to hear all about it. I am sure by now the cows are wondering where I am. And this is where I'm going to end the video. I want to thank you for being here and being part of today's video, whether you're here for the Cookies and Candy collaboration or if you're here to just see what curiosities I'm up to next. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time right here, Inquisitive Farm Wife.